Assalamu alaikum everyone. हेलो वालेकुम सलाम. क्या हाल है? Can you guys hear me all right? Assalamu alaikum everyone. All right, sounds good. Okay, so this was an unannounced stream. Normally, I like to announce like a day or two in advance, but this was unannounced. So, yeah, for those of you who have joined, that's great. The rest can watch it later. Okay, now, so as you can see, the topic that we're doing is sets and Venn diagram. Okay, it's a fairly easy topic. Okay, it doesn't contain a lot of marks, but students do find it difficult. Okay, and reasonably, I mean that's understandable. The reason why they find it difficult is because sometimes the word problems, yes, can be a bit tricky. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. You can see that I've highlighted the main concepts that we have in this topic. Okay, the main concept is word problems. Okay, which is number 3, and two other concepts are one of the other two concepts is shading, and the other is where you have to find the set and then you're given multiple sets and then you have to place the terms in the appropriate set. Okay, so that's one category. Okay, when our admath streams be inshallah coming week mein. Okay, I'll try and do one tomorrow, maybe of integration or something. Okay, but yeah, inshallah we'll try and stream every day from now on. Okay, one day math and one day admath. All right. Okay, so as I was saying, these are the 3 categories. Okay, you have shading, which is very easy. If you learn that simple trick, you will understand how shading is done. Then you have finding sets, intersection, union, writing elements on Venn diagram, etc., etc., and then you have word problems. Okay, so this is what a word problem question can look like. We're gonna solve this. We're gonna solve word problems. This is what finding sets, intersection, union, a question of finding sets, intersection, union can look like, and shading, I'm sure you guys are all familiar with it. Okay, so we'll start with word problems. Let's see what a question on word problems can look like, and let's see how we can solve it. Okay, so this is a question. It's a fairly old question, but it's still relevant. It's May June 2003, paper 1, so no calculator, but it's, like I said, it's fairly old, but it's still very relevant. Okay, so let's see what it says. Sir, please do one for constant velocity. So my video on constant velocity will come out tomorrow, inshallah. I've already made a video. Okay, it's a recording of my class. I couldn't make a video especially for YouTube, but you'll find it tomorrow. Okay, that's going to be the part 3 of vectors. Anyway, coming back. So every time you're doing a word problem question, here's how you should do it. First of all, you should read the entire question. Okay, that means you should first, without doing anything at all, just read the entire question. Let's see what it says. So it says, in a group of language students, 24 studied Spanish, 23 studied French, and 15 studied German. So when you're reading the entire question, what you're really looking for are 2 things. You're looking for the different categories that you have, number 1. Number 2, you're looking for all the information that you're given about the categories. Okay, so you can see that you have 3 different categories: Spanish, French, and German. So that means we're going to make 3 circles inside. When we're making a Venn diagram, we're going to make 3 circles. Okay, so you have 12 who studied Spanish and French, 10 studied German and French, 6 studied Spanish and German, 4 studied all 3. So this is another thing that you're really looking for. How many students have studied all 3? Now notice this question doesn't say anywhere that you have students who have studied neither of the 3 languages. So that means there's nothing outside of the 3 circles that we're going to draw. So that means there's no need to draw the rectangle. So here are the 3 circles. Okay, one is for Spanish, the other is for French, and the third is for German. Okay, so how many students studied Spanish? 24. How many students studied French? 23. How many students studied German? 15. Okay, now the one thing that you should mark, the very first thing that you should mark is the number of students who've studied all 3. Okay, so how many students have studied all 3? There are 4. So that means this region Okay, the region where all three are intersecting is equal to 4. All right. Then it says 12 studied Spanish and French. So Spanish and French, that means inka jo total hai, that's 12. So if 12 have studied Spanish and French, and out of the 12, 4 have studied German as well. So how many would have studied Spanish and French? Only 8. How? 12 minus 4. Okay, just like that, if 10 students have studied German and French, so that's over here, and out of the 10, 4 have also studied Spanish. So what are we going to do? We're going to do 10 minus 4, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 6. Okay, and then it says 6 studied Spanish and German. So that means this area is 6. Okay, and out of these 6 students, 4 studied French as well. So we're going to minus that. Okay, now let's see what the question says. The question says, by drawing a Venn diagram or otherwise. Now my suggestion is always do it through a Venn diagram. Calculate the number of students who studied both Spanish and French but not German. So Spanish and French but not German. So now we have that. Now we can see that the number of students who have studied Spanish and French is equal to 8. So that's it. When you make a Venn diagram, life becomes a whole lot easier. Okay. Then it says only one language. Okay. Now only one language could mean 3 things. It could mean Spanish only. Okay. Spanish only भी हो सकता है, French only भी हो सकता है, or it could be German only. Now how will I find that? If I want to find out Spanish only, this is what I need to find. Okay. Now how will I figure that out? Let's see. So 24, from 24 we'll have to subtract the sum of 8, 2 and 4. So let's see what that is. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 4 is 14. 24 minus 14 is equal to what? Is equal to 10. Okay, so we have 10 students who have studied Spanish only. Just like that, we're going to find out the number of students who have studied French only. Okay, so for that, here's what I'm going to do. 23 is the total number of students who are studying French. From this, we're going to subtract the sum of 8, 4 and 6. So 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 plus 8 is 18. 23 minus 18 is 5. So there you go. 5 ye aa gaya. Just like that, let's find out the number of students who've studied German only. So in that case, we're going to do 15 minus the sum of 2 plus 4 plus 6. So let's see what do we have. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12. 15 minus 12 is equal to 3. And now, all you have to do is just add these 3. 10, 5 and 3. So 10 plus 5 plus 3 equals to 18. So these are the students who have studied only one language, and that one language could be German, could be French, could be Spanish. Okay, so there you go. That's the answer to this question. Okay, now let's do another question. Another word problem question. By the way, I have highlighted over here. Okay, I've categorized them and highlighted them to make things easy. So for example, if you want to practice just word problems, you can do the ones that I've highlighted in green. So here's another question dealing with word problems. Let's do that. Let's see what it says. So this question says, this is from October, November 2006, by the way. In a class of 36 students, again, what you want to do is you want to first read the entire question, okay, and determine the number of categories that you have. So you have 25 who study history, 20 study geography, and 4 study neither history nor geography. Okay, so remember, we're looking for 2 things when we're reading the entire question. 3 things, actually. 1, the number of categories that we have. 2, if you're given the common, if you're told the number of students or whatever it is who studied both or all 3, depending on the categories. And the third, if there are students or elements that are outside both the sets. Okay, like for example, over here, we have neither. So in short, we're looking for categories, both and neither. Okay, these are the 3 things that we're looking for. So the total is 36. The total is 36, as you can see. So here is 36. Part 2 of what exactly? And we have 2 categories. One is history. So how many students study history? 20. And we have another category, geography. In fact, wait a minute. It's 25 who study history. So here's 25. How many study geography? That's 20. And 4 students study neither. Okay. All right. How many students study both? We don't know that, so we'll call it X. Now, if a total of 25 students study history, and out of the 25, X study geography as well, so how will I find out the number of students who study history only? 25 minus X. Just like that, if 20 is the number of students who study geography, and out of the 20, X study history as well, so how will I find out the number of students who study geography only? 20 minus X. Now, what do I need to do? I just need to sum it up. 25 minus X plus X plus 20 minus x plus 4, and this is going to be equal to the total number of students, which is x. Now minus x plus x gets cancelled out. 25 plus 20 is 45. 45 plus 4 is 49. So 49 minus x equals to 36. So x equals to 49 minus 36, which means it's equal to 13. And there you go. That's it. That's your final answer. Walaikum salam. Sorry I couldn't answer earlier. Okay, now if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Let's do another word problem question. Here it is. कुछ ना ऐसे सवाल होते हैं थोड़े tricky से, where it says find the least and find the maximum. So I'm trying to look for that question. Let's do that. Okay, so let's do this question. This is from May June 2014, paper 12. Okay, and I'm only doing the word problem part. The shading part and the other category we will do later. Okay, first let's do all the word problem questions. No, this is not part of add maths, sir. I didn't get to know when to add or subtract. Okay, sorry to interrupt, sir, but what is the expected length of the stream? Around an hour, hour and a half. Okay. All right, let's get to work. So it says a group of 40 children are asked what pets they own. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to read the entire question, determine the number of categories, and see if we know both or neither. Of these children, 13 own a cat, 5 own both a cat and a dog, and 15 own neither a cat nor a dog. Okay, so that means we have two categories, cat and dog, and 15 happen to own neither, 5 happen to own both. So ye key information hai. Okay, this is what you need before you can make your Venn diagram. And of course you need the total as well. So that's given in the question. So the total, as you can see, is 40. Okay, 5 own both. All right, here's the set for cats and here's the set for dogs. So how many students own cat? 13 own a cat. How many students own a dog? We don't know that. Okay, but what we do know is that there are 15 who own neither a cat nor a dog. तो ये 15 कहाँ पे आएगा? ये 15 बाहर आएगा बिल्कुल. Okay, now if I want to find out the number of students who own cat only, I can do that very easily. Why? Because 13 is the total number of children, actually not students, who own cat. Out of the 13, 5 own a dog as well. So if I want to find out the number of students, the number of children who own a cat only, so that's going to be 8. Just like that, if I want to find out the number of children who own a dog only, I can't do that because we don't know the total number of children who own a dog. So we'll call it X. Okay, now what we're going to do is the sum of all these numbers inside the set 8 plus 5 plus x plus 15 should be equal to the total number of children. Okay, so what does that mean? 8 plus 5 plus x plus 15 equals to 40. 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 plus x plus 15 equals to 40. Let's work out the value of x. So 13 plus 15 is 28. 40 minus 28 is equals to 12. But don't get carried away and think this is the final answer. Make sure to read the question and see what it's asking for. So it says find the number of children who own a dog but not a cat. Yep, so this is what the question is asking for. So 12 is the value of x, which is also the final answer. Alright, so there you go. That's the answer to this question. Okay, so I want to do some minimum maximum kind of questions. Okay, these are the type of questions, especially in word problems, that I've noticed students find the most challenging. Okay, so ये एक interesting सवाल है. Let's try and solve this. Okay, let's see what it says. So it says in a group of students, 30 play cricket, 38 play football, 9 play neither cricket nor football. Find the lowest possible number of students in the group. Okay, now एक चीज याद रखें. If you want to find out the lowest possible number of students in the group, okay, then what you do is you maximize intersection. Okay, that means कि जो both की category है ना, okay, we will try and maximize that. And the question is, how do you maximize intersection? Here's how you do it. Intersection can be maximized by making one set the subset of the other. ठीक है, ये simple rule है. You can apply this anywhere you want. make one set the subset of the other. Okay, now first of all, let's write down what we know. We know that the total, in fact, we don't know what the total is, okay? But what we do know is that there are a certain number of children who play neither, students who play neither cricket nor football, okay? अब दो possibilities हो सकती हैं. Either I can make cricket a subset of football, okay, or I can make football a subset of cricket. Okay, now let's see which one's possible. I can't make football a subset of cricket because you have 38 people who play football and 30 people who play cricket. Now हम ये तो नहीं कह सकते ना कि ये जो 38 के 38 हैं ये क्रिकेट भी खेलते हैं क्योंकि क्रिकेट खेलने वाले ही 30 हैं, ठीक है. लेकिन हम ये ज़रूर कह सकते हैं that these 30 people who play cricket, the same 30 also play football. So that means what's not possible is this, but if you want to make football, in fact, wait a minute. This is possible. You can make cricket a subset of football, but you can't make football a subset of cricket. Why? Because football is the larger set. तो हम 30 को 38 के अंदर रख सकते हैं, लेकिन हम 38 को 30 के अंदर नहीं रख सकते. Okay. So what's the larger set? The larger set is the football set. So there you go. Here's the football set, which is equal to 38. Okay. And then inside this set, we will make the smaller set, which is cricket, and that's equal to 30. Now, if I want to find out the total number of students, what am I going to do? Will I do 38 plus 30 plus 9? No. Why? Because this 30 is inside of this 38. So I don't need to add it separately. What I need to do now is simply 38 plus 9, which is equal to 47. And there you go. 47 is the lowest possible number of students in the group. Okay? Now, just remember this. Make one set the subset of the other. In other words, if you want to narrow it down, you can write it like this. Make the smaller set subset of the larger set. Zahir si baat hai, you can't make the larger set the subset of the smaller set. It's the smaller set which can be made the subset of the larger set. So I'll repeat. Okay, I'll summarize this. Every time you're asked to minimize the total number of students, okay, or the total quantity, what you need to do is you need to take the smaller set and make it the subset of the larger set. उससे क्या होगा? उससे आपका intersection maximize हो जाएगा. The number of unique students playing each sport will be minimum. Okay, and as a result, if the unique elements are minimum, the total will be as if the unique elements are minimum, then the total will be as less as possible. So there you go. Okay, now let's do another question similar to this one, where we have to find minimum or maximum. ऐसे questions कम आते हैं, but आते हैं. So there's this question that I had highlighted. Okay, chalo, first let's do this question. Question number 36. I have, by the way, uploaded this worksheet. You guys can download it. Okay. And practice it yourself. You'll find the answers as well. So this question we'll do later. First, let's do question number 36. Yeah, let's do this question. This is a unique question. Let's see what it says. It says here is some information about 100 people who visit a cafe. Okay. Let's see what it says. 32 drink coffee. Okay. 40 drink tea. 50 eat a pastry. 18 drink coffee and eat a pastry. Okay. 21 drink tea and eat a pastry. Like I said, first you need to read the entire question. Okay. Complete the Venn diagram to show this information for the 100 people. Okay. Now, so the sets have already been drawn. All we need to do is place the values. So let's first look at the totals. So 32 is the total of the set for coffee. So we'll write 32 over here. 40 is the number of people who drink tea. Okay. And 50 is the number of people who eat a pastry. 18 drink coffee and eat a pastry. तो ये कहाँ पे आएंगे? ये आएंगे यहाँ पे coffee और pastry के बीच में. This is 18. Okay. 21 drink tea and eat a pastry. So ये 21 कहाँ पे आएंगे? ये 21 यहाँ पे आएंगे. Okay. Now you can fill out all the other elements. So for example, if I want to find out the number of people who who drink coffee only, how will I do that? I will simply do 32 minus 18, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 14. Just like that, if I want to find out the number of people who eat a pastry only, so the total for pastry is 50, out of which 21 drink tea and 18 drink coffee. So all I need to do is 21 plus 18 is what? 39. Okay, from 39, from 50 subtract 39. So you have 11 over here. Just like that, if you want to find out the number of people who drink tea only, so what you need to do is from 40 subtract 21. So you have 19. Okay, and that's not it. Why? Because there is a possibility that you have a certain number of people who do neither of the three. Okay, ना वो चाय पीते हैं, ना कॉफ़ी पीते हैं, ना पेस्ट्री खाते हैं. तो वो कैसे निकालेंगे हम? So what we'll do is we'll add all these elements. Okay, 19 plus 21 plus 11 plus 18 plus 14. Okay, let's see what this is equal to. Let's first make sure we haven't missed out anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, great. Now let's see what this is equal to. 19 plus 21 is 40. 18 plus 11 is 29. 29 plus 14 is 43. So this is equal to 83. Now 100 minus 83. Why? Because 100 is the grand total. Okay, which is equal to what? Which is equal to 17. And there you go. We have now completed the Venn diagram. Okay, now it says find the number of T union P union C, the whole thing complement. That means ये वो लोग हैं जो कि ना चाय पीते हैं, ना कॉफ़ी पीते हैं और ना पेस्ट्री खाते हैं. Why? Because there is a complement. Okay, so T union P union C basically means everyone outside of this. Okay, so outside of the three sets. So have we already figured that out? We've already figured that out. So what we need to do now is just write the value, which is 17. Okay. This chapter comes in P1. Yeah, so it mostly comes in paper 1, but there are paper 2 questions as well. So here's what I've done. You will find 2 worksheets. Okay, one is a paper 1 worksheet, one is the paper 2 worksheet. Now you'll notice that there is no major difference in the type of questions, irrespective of whether you find it at paper 1 or paper 2. Okay, it's not like paper 2 में आने से कोई बहुत complicated question हो जाएगा. Difficulty level more or less same ही होगा. Alright, now let me see if I can find another one of those minimum maximum questions. चलें, एक मिल गया. ये करते हैं. Here it is. Okay. Let's see what this question says. This is from October, November 2020. So this is fairly recent. Okay. And paper 11. So it says in a group of 42 people, 30 speak Spanish, 20 speak French. Find the smallest possible number of, so smallest, let's underline smallest, of people who speak both Spanish and French. Okay. अब हमने क्या करना है? अब हमने जो common area है ना, उसको minimize करना है. Okay. If the question had said find the largest number of people who speak both, तो फिर in that case हमारा answer सीधा सीधा क्या होना था? 20 होना था. Why? We would have then made the smaller set the subset of the larger set. But since the question is asking for the least number of people who speak both, so in that case, here's the formula that we use. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the number of people who speak French plus the number of people who speak Spanish minus both plus neither, if any, and that's going to give us our total. Okay. Now remember, using this formula gives you the smallest value of both. Okay, when you're using this formula, in that case जो आप both निकालते हो ना, वो क्या आता है आपका? वो automatically smallest आता है. ठीक है. So let's see what we can do. Since there are no students here, no people here who speak neither, so here's what we're going to do. The number of people who speak Spanish, that's 30, plus the number of people who speak French, that's 20, minus the number of people who speak both, that's x. Okay, plus neither, so that's 0, and this is equal to what? This is equal to 42. Okay, now let's solve this. 32 plus 20 is 50. 50 minus x equals to 42. तो x किसके बराबर आया? x बराबर आया 8 के. ठीक है? And there you go. That's your final answer. Okay. Now let's do part 2. Part 2 says find the largest number of people who speak neither Spanish nor French. Okay, so we have to find out first of all the largest possible number of people who speak neither Spanish nor French. Okay, so सबसे पहले तो ज़रा सोचते हैं इस question के बारे में before we solve them. Okay, if I want to find out the largest number of people who speak neither, okay, तो मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? मुझे जो common है, ठीक है, जो both वाला scenario, think of it this way. Okay, now as of now, the region outside of the two sets is this region. Okay, but how can I maximize the region that's outside of the two sets? Okay, think of it as a simple geometry question. Okay, forget sets and Venn diagram. ये आपके पास दो circles हैं. Now you want to maximize the area outside of the two circles, okay, but inside of the rectangle. So what you will do is you will take this one circle, okay, and place it inside the other circle, okay. And as a result, what you will have is the area outside of the two circles will be as large as possible, okay. So how does that relate to over here? So what we're going to do is, if you're supposed to find out the largest number of people who speak neither, so here also you're going to do the same thing. You're going to make the smaller set subset of the larger set. Okay, what does that mean? We have 30 people who speak Spanish, and we have sorry about that, 20 people who speak French. So हमने क्या किया? हमने कहा कि ये जो 20 French बोल रहा है ना, they're coming out of the same 30 people who are speaking Spanish. Okay, there's nothing unique about them. So these 20 people are from the same 30 people who speak French. So that way, what happens is we know that the total number of people that we have is 42. Okay, that's given in the question right over here. So बाहर कितने लोग होगा? X होगा. So how will I figure this out? 30 plus 20 plus x equals to 42. So 30 plus 20 is 50. Okay, 50 plus x. Oh, sorry, 30 plus 20 nahi karenge. In fact, this is not how you do it, because 30 is, this 20 is inside of this 30. So here's what we will do. 30 plus x equals to 42, and x equals to what? X equals to 12. And there you go. That's your final answer. Now I'll give you guys a quick recap. So if the question asks you to find the largest number of people who speak neither, okay, that means you want to find out the maximum of neither. So what you do is you look for the smaller set and you make it the subset of the larger set. All right, and now this 30 becomes your A union B technically. Okay, so there's nothing unique about these 20 people. They're from the same set of 30 people who speak French, and outside you have x. So 30 plus x equals to 42, and x is equals to what? X equals to 12. Okay, yes, I will do the shading part. I just wanted to do some word problems first. Now let's do shading. Okay, now let's take your questions. Sir, what to do for symmetry and nets of shape? I watch your videos for symmetry, but I still don't know how to solve those questions. Okay, so I'll try and make more videos of so for symmetry, it becomes a lot easier if you use tracing paper. Okay, tracing paper is allowed. Tracing paper is allowed. Make sure to use it. So that'll save you a lot of time. And it's officially allowed. Okay, आपके syllabus में लिखा हुआ है that you can use tracing paper. All right, now let's do some shading questions. Okay, so I'm just gonna randomly do some shading questions. Okay, I haven't really planned what shading questions I'm going to do. Okay, but there is one trick that you guys need to remember when it comes to shading. Okay, so let me pick a few questions over here. So let's do this question. Okay, so it says, in the Venn diagram, shade the region which represents the subset of A intersection B complement union C. Okay, so every time you look at a shading question, before you do anything else, what I want you to do is I just want you to number all the different regions. Now let me tell you, this will take you like a minute extra. Okay, but one thing that I can guarantee is that you will always get this right. Okay, always, you will always get this right. Okay, now first of all, let's find out this set. Okay, let's first find out A intersection B complement. So let's write down all the elements in set A. 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, this is what you have in set A. 1, 2, 4, 5. Let's write down all the elements in set outside of set B. That means B complement. So that's going to be 1, 4, 8 and 9. Okay, I say it. 1, 4, 8 and 9. Outside of B we have 1, 4, 8 and 9. Now since the question says A intersection B complement, okay, so you look for whatever is common in these two. So you can see that you have 1 that's common and 4 that is common. Okay, 1 common A, 4 common A. All right, now you you write down all the elements in set C. Okay, so set C mein kya kya? You have 4, 5, 6 and 8. All right, now what you do is, now you make a union of this. A intersection B complement union C. Or union mein what do? We just list all the elements without double counting the ones that are repeating. That means we're going to have 1, 4, 5, 6 and 8. So 1, 4, 5, 6 and 8. Alright, now what you have to do is you just have to shade them. Oh yeah, you're right, I skipped 7. Okay, khair, it doesn't make a difference. Okay, but yeah, answer phir bhi sahi aayega. So 1, 4, 5, 6 and 8, that's what we're shading. 1, 4, 5, 6 and 8. There you go. That's your answer. Okay. So that's one question. Acha, now let me tell you, you may be thinking that this is a lot of work. And yes, I agree it is a lot of work. But with practice, like for example, you know how we sort of did this too systematically, like we first wrote down A and then we wrote down B complement. So with practice, what you will eventually be able to do is you will eventually be able to write down A intersection B complement directly, and then you can write down the elements of C, and then you can see whatever it is that you have to do, find the union or intersection and then shade. Okay, let's do another shading question. Yeah, let's do this one. Okay, so you have P union Q, the whole complement intersection R. P union Q whole complement intersection R. Okay, let's write that down. First of all, let's number the elements. This time I will try not to skip 7. Oh yeah, I was wondering that every time I solve a question 8 tak aate numbers. How come this is 9? Khair, anyway, thank you for pointing that out, whoever did that. So P union Q whole complement. Okay, let's try and write this down directly. P union Q whole complement basically means everything that's outside of set P and set Q. Okay, so outside of set P as well as set Q. So that's 7 and 8. Okay, then you write down all the elements of set R. So you have 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay, then you see what you have in between the two. So you have intersection. So that's what we are looking for. P union Q whole complement intersection R means that we're looking for 7. That's it. It's just 7, that's common. Okay, so what do we shade? We just shade the region 7. And there you go. That's your answer. Walaikum salam. Yes, this is definitely much easier. Okay, and this is the way that I would prefer, irrespective. Okay, let's do one more shading question. In fact, let's do a question where you have 2 sets. Okay, let's do this one here. And then we'll do one of those questions where you have to write down the shaded region. Okay. All right. So here's a question. It says, on the Venn diagram shown in the answer space, shade the set P union Q complement. Okay. So first things first, number the regions. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see, what do we have in P? We have 1 and 2. What do we have outside of Q? Outside of Q, you have 1 and 4. Okay. Now what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to write down P union Q complement. So that's going to be 1, 2 and 4. So that's it. That's what you're going to shade. This and everything outside. Basically everything except for 3. There you go. So please excuse my shading skills. That's it. Thank you, Ahmed Raza. And who else? Ashia. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. So this way is it takes an extra minute, okay, but you will always get it right, inshallah. Okay, so let's do a question where we're given the shaded region and we have to write down, define it basically using set language. Sir, how much do you need in both papers for A star? It depends on the threshold. Okay. I really can't say. I really can't give you a number. It depends on the difficulty level of the paper and then the threshold. Hello, sir. This is my first time in live. Unfortunately, I have to go to sleep. My grades in Ad Maths went from a 7 to a 18 over 25. Okay. Acha. Khair. Anyway, let's do this question. Okay. So clearly you can see that B, the region that's shaded, not entirely but partly, is basically common between B and C. Okay. But A has been excluded. Alright. So how do you do that? So first of all, had it been B intersection C, then you would have had this region that I'm shading in red as well. Okay. But this has been excluded. So how do you exclude a set? What you do is you do intersection A complement. Okay. So what you need to do is we need to exclude set A from the shaded region. So B intersection C, if we had just stopped there, then this red region would have also been shaded. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to exclude this region. तो वो हम कैसे करेंगे? उसके आगे हम intersection A complement लगा देंगे. That means everything that's common in between B and C and outside of A. Okay, everything that's common in between B and C and outside of A. Okay, so let's do more of these questions so you guys get the hang of it. Let's drag this over here. Okay, so let's do this one. It says express in set notation the subset shaded in the Venn diagram. Okay, so अगर P होता तो ये region भी shaded होता, ठीक है, अगर सिर्फ P होता तो, लेकिन ये region exclude हो गया. So how do you exclude a part of the other set? You write intersection that set and complement on it, and that's it. This is your answer. P intersection Q complement. That means everything that's common in set P and outside of set Q is what's shaded. Okay. All right. Now, let's do some questions. Yeah, let's do some questions like, where you have prime numbers and all that. इस तरह के कुछ questions करते हैं. So let's do this question. Okay, let's see what this says. So, this question says, here's a universal set which contains which contains x such that x is an integer and x is greater than 5. Okay, so that means in the universal set you have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and there's no upper limit really. Okay, now then it says P contains x such that x is a prime number. Okay, F is a set which contains x such that x is a multiple of 4. Alright, and then you have S which contains x such that x is a multiple of 6. Okay, अब एक काम करते हैं, let's list all the prime numbers that we have greater than 5. So you have no, we can't list all of them, okay, but 7, 11, 13, 15 nahi hoga, 17, 19, so on and so forth. Okay, unlimited, we'll just go on forever. And then list all the multiples of 4 that are greater than 5. So you'll have 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and then again this will also go on forever. And let's list all the multiples of 6 greater than 5. So you'll have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and this will also go on forever. Okay, now one set has already been drawn. Okay, this set has already been drawn that contains all the multiples of 4. Now when I'm drawing set S, you can see that there are numbers that are multiples of 4 as well as 6. Okay, basically numbers that are multiples of 12. So what that means is that when you're drawing set S, you will draw it in such a way that it has something common with set F. Okay, so you'll make sure that set S has some intersecting part with set S. Okay, now the question is, where will I draw set P? Now P is a prime number. There's no prime number that's a multiple of 4, and there's no prime number that's a multiple of 6. So that means this is a disjoint set. So this set, wherever we draw, we'll make sure that this has nothing in common with set F and set S. Okay, so there you go. That's your answer. So we've done part A. Now let's do part B. Part B says, write down a possible element y such that y is an even number and y, इसका क्या मतलब है? इसका मतलब है belongs to or is an element of F union S complement. Okay, now let's understand that. So it has to be an even number, okay, and it has to be an even number such that it is not a multiple of 4. Okay, it shouldn't be a multiple of 4 or 6 for that matter. Okay, so it can't be a multiple of 4, it can't be a multiple of 6, but it still has to be an even number. Okay, and at the same time it has to be greater than 5. So 4 नहीं हो सकता, ज़ाहिर है 6 नहीं हो सकता, 8 नहीं हो सकता, but 10 हो सकता है. Why? Because 10 is an even number. Okay, in fact 4 तो हो ही नहीं सकता. Why? Because this has to be greater than 5. Okay, so I'm writing down all the even numbers: 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So just like that, you can't have 12. Okay, now what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to write down one possible value. Okay, so it could be 10, it could be 14, it can't be 16, can't be 18, because 16 is a multiple of 4, 18 is a multiple of 6, it can be 20. No, it can't be 20 either, because 20 is also a multiple of 4, it could be 22. So we're just supposed to write down one value. Okay, so you can write down 10, you can write down 14, you can write down 22. और क्या लिख सकते हैं? 24 नहीं लिख सकते हैं, 26 लिख सकते हैं, 28 नहीं लिख सकते, 30 भी नहीं लिख सकते, 32 भी नहीं लिख सकते, 34 maybe. But खैर, anyway, you guys get the point, right? So there you go. That's it. That's your answer. Okay, so I'm not ignoring the chats. I am just solving this question. While I'm solving this question, I try and ignore your messages. Okay, I mean, try and not pay attention to it. So let's see what you guys are saying. Sir, story for me. Okay, I'm glad you guys find them funny. Okay, so thank you for all the kind words. Okay, sir, can I know your Insta ID? It's the same, Mathlete by South. Okay. All right, now let's do more of these questions. Okay. So let's do this question. So you guys help me out in this question. So it says A union B equals to B. A intersection B is not equal to B. Okay. And then A intersection C is a disjoint set. That means they have nothing in common. B intersection C is not a disjoint set. That means they might have something in common. Okay. So first of all, what I want you guys to tell me is, where will I draw set A? Okay. Set A kahan pe banega? Mensuration, inshallah, I will do it in the coming week. Don't worry. मेरा सवाल इग्नोर हो गया. क्या सवाल था आपका? Okay, why don't you just ask your question again? ये सब तो कभी नहीं पढ़ा, पहली दफ़ा देखा हूँ. Okay, that's kind of scary. I hope ऐसी और चीज़ें नहीं हैं जो आप पहली दफ़ा देख रहे हो. A a subset of B. That's correct. A will be a subset of B. So that means A will be inside of set B. Okay. Now, what about set C? So as far as set C is concerned, अच्छा, I'll just do this because I have to sort of, there's a delay, तो मुझे wait करना पड़ता है. Okay. So A intersection C, you can see is a disjoint set. That means A and C have nothing in common. Okay. B and C, however, is not a disjoint set. That means B and C do have something in common. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to draw set C in such a way that it intersects, it has some region common with set B but does not intersect set A. Sir, साथ से पूछ के कोई अच्छा physics channel, I'm sorry, I don't know any good physics channel. Sir, is it true that this year threshold of all papers will be higher? एक तो ये threshold वाले सवाल और कितने marks score करें कि A आ जाए. Okay, I don't know. Threshold का कोरोना से ताल्लुक़ नहीं होता, ठीक है. Threshold का ताल्लुक़ होता है difficulty level of the paper से. Okay, yes, threshold के time पे क्योंकि paper बहुत difficult आया था तो threshold naturally कम हो गया था. Okay, but it has nothing to do with corona or anything else. It depends on the difficulty level of the exam. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. All right. Let's do 2 more questions. क्या time हो रहा है? Okay. वो वाले questions होते हैं ना, multiples of 2, multiples of 4. Trying to look for that question. हाँ ये आ गया, चलो. This is a good question. So this question says you're given the universal set from 84, 85, 86, 87. Make sure कि बीच में कोई number missing now. हाँ नहीं है. Okay, great. Then it says p is such that p is an even number. Okay, and then you have set x such that x is a multiple of 3. Okay, so पहले हम एक काम करते हैं. हम irrespective के सवाल आगे क्या पूछ रहा है? Let's write down all the elements of set p and set q. Okay, so you have 84, 86, 88, 90, 92, 94, 96. ठीक है. अच्छा, q is basically a set which contains all the multiples of 3. Okay, so if 84 is a multiple of 3, which it is, so that means the next multiple of 3 will be 84 plus 3, so that's 87. Okay, and then 87 plus 3, so that's 90. So there's no point in trying 88 or 89. If you have one multiple of 3 and all the numbers are in a sequence, so you just need to plus 3, so on and so forth. Okay, and then you'll have 93, which is a multiple of 6, and then 96, which is a multiple of 3. Okay, so this is from October, November 2016. Okay, then it says find the number. Okay, now this means that you have to write down the number of elements. Okay, now before you can find out the number of elements, what you need to do is you need to actually find out p union q. Okay, first let's make a list of these two sets. Okay, where we won't double count or write down the common elements twice. Okay, so 84 है, फिर 86 है. Okay, cross भी करते रहते हैं, so we don't end up counting them again. And then you have 87. Okay, and then you have 88, so let's cross that out. Then you have 90, so let's cross that out. Then you have 92, so let's cross that out. Then you have 93, let's cross that out. Then 94, then 96. Okay, अब अगर हम इसको यहाँ पे छोड़ देंगे ना, so we're not going to get any marks. We need to write down the head count. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the final answer is 9. Okay, so there you go. That is your final answer. Okay, part 2 देखते हैं इसका. Part 2 says given that y belongs to the universal set and y is a prime number, write down the value of y. Okay, so that means now we're looking for a prime number in this. Okay, so 84 can't be a prime number. In fact, all the elements that we have listed over here can't be prime numbers. Okay, so let's just cross them out. 84 नहीं हो सकता, 86 नहीं हो सकता, 87 नहीं हो सकता, 88 नहीं हो सकता, 90 नहीं हो सकता, 92 नहीं हो सकता because it's an even number, 93 multiple of 3 can't be, 95 multiple of 5 can't be a prime number, 96 can't be a prime number. Okay, so that means we're only undecided between, in fact 85 भी नहीं हो सकता. Why? Because it's a multiple of 5. So the only thing that we're undecided, the only two numbers we're undecided about is 89 and 91. Okay, now let's try 89. The only number that I think we should try is 7. Okay, it's not a multiple of 2, it's not a multiple of 3, 4, 5. So we need to just try the dividing it by 7. So you can't divide it by 7. 89 divided by 7 is not possible. Okay, but just to be on the safe side, let's look at 99 and see why 99 can't be 91. Sorry, why 91 can't be our final answer. So 91 can be divided by 7 because 7 ones are 7 and then 2 carry. So 7 13s are 91. So that means 91 bhi nahi hai. Our final answer is just 89. And there you go. That's it. That's your final answer. Then it says in the Venn diagram, shade the region represented by A complement intersection B. Okay, so although we've done shading, but you know, it's in the way, so let's just do it. A complement basically means 3 and 4. B basically means 2 and 3. Now we're supposed to look for what's common between these two, so that's 3. So 3 is the region that we're going to shade. And that's it. Like I said, with practice, this all will become easier. Okay. Any important questions? You're welcome, Hamza. Thank you, Shahir. I'm glad it helped. Okay. What is my opinion about WWE? Okay, well, let me put it to you this way. I was quite disappointed the day I found out that it's all fake, because I had spent hours debating to people about okay, it's not fake, it's real. But when I actually found out it's fake, I was quite disappointed. Okay. Now एक और सवाल करते हैं and then let's call it a day. चलें ये सवाल करते हैं. This is fairly recent, October November 2021. Okay, let's see what it says. So this question says 40 students can take part in 3 activities: art, dancing and gardening. Okay, 5 do not take part in any of these activities. Okay, I know, right? I still remember clearly the day I think I saw a video of some ex-wrestler basically telling about how everything was rehearsed and they basically choreographed it. Yeah, that's the word that he used. Every move was choreographed. So I was kind of shocked to hear that. Khair, anyway, so here's a question. Let's do this. It says 40 students can take part in 3 activities: art, dancing and gardening. 5 people do not take part in any of the activities. Okay, तो सबसे पहले तो हम ये 5 मार्क कर देते हैं. ये 5 तो यहाँ बाहर आ गए. 12 to art only, तो ये 12 यहाँ पे आएंगे. ठीक है. 4 do dancing and gardening but not art. So that means this 4 is the intersection between dancing and gardening. Okay, but you have to keep it away from art. 1 student does all 3 activities. Okay, so here's the 1. Okay, now the first part was complete the Venn diagram, so we've done that. Okay, now here's part B, which says on the Venn diagram the ratio of x is to y is to z is 1 is to 2 is to 3. Find the value of each x, y and z. Okay, अब इस क्वेश्चन को करने के ना बहुत सारे तरीके हैं. ठीक है. Now I'll tell you the one way that I would prefer to solve it. Now first of all, what you need to do is, you can't find out the individual values of x, y and z directly. Okay, but what you can do is you can basically find out their sum. Okay, how? So 12 plus x plus y plus 0 plus 1 plus 4 plus z plus 5 equals to what? Equals to 40. Okay, so let's do that. 12 plus x plus y plus 0 plus 1 plus 4 plus 5 plus z equals to what? Equals to 40. Okay, so x plus y plus z, let's see what this is equal to. Okay, so 12 plus 1 is 13. 13 plus 4 is 17. 17 plus 5 is 22. Okay, so that means x plus y plus z equals to 40 minus 22, which means x plus y plus z equals to 18. Okay, अब देखो, like I said, there are there are 2 ways through which you can do this question. Now, irrespective of the way that you opt for, you have to first do this. You have to first find out the sum of x, y and z. Now suppose that I find out the value of x. So what I'll do is, if I want to find out x, मैं देखूंगा कि x का क्या ratio है, that's 1. Okay, and then I'll divide it by the total ratio, which is 6. 1 plus 2 plus 3, and then I will multiply it by the total. Okay, now do I have the total? Yes, I do. We just figured it out. The total of x, y and z equals to 18. So 1/6 of 18 is what? 1/6 of 18 is 3. Okay, now once you've worked out x, for y you don't need to repeat the same process. You can see that the ratio is 2, so that means it's going to be double of x, so that means it's going to be 6. And z you can see is 3, so that means it's going to be 3 times of whatever x is, so that means it's going to be 9. So there you go, x is 3, y is 6 and z is 9. Now let's do part C. Part C says one subset in the Venn diagram in part A has no students, so that's right here. Okay, use set notation to describe this subset. अब ये कौन लोग हैं? ये वो लोग हैं who are basically doing art and gardening but not dancing. Okay, so art and gardening common है इन दोनों में. ठीक है, but if I just leave it there, if I just leave it at art intersection gardening, that means we're talking about this region. Okay, but I need to exclude the other set, which is the set of dancing. So how do I exclude something? I write intersection and then complement of that set. Okay, so there you go. That's your final answer. Job done. Then it says find, okay, so this we don't want to mess up. D union G intersection A. So सबसे पहले तो हम एक काम करते हैं, x, y, z की values आ गई है ना, तो let's replace them. So x is 3, y is 6, and Z is 9. Okay, so D union G. Now bear in mind that these numbers, they're not like multiples or integers. Okay, this is actually a head count itself. Okay, so if I want to find out D union G, that means here's what I need to do: 3, 6, 1, 4, 9 and 0. Okay, so this is representing D union G: 3, 6, 1, 4, 9 and 0. Okay, and then let's write down A. Okay, अब A का मतलब है A में कौन कौन है? A में है 12, 3, 1 and 0. Okay, now let's first see what's common in these two sets: D union G and A. Okay, so there's 3 that's common. Okay, and then there's 1 that's common. Okay, so 3 common hai, 1 common hai, and that's it. 0 common hai, but you know, that's really not going to make a difference. But remember, what we're supposed to do is, we're supposed to basically write down what? We're supposed to write down the number. Okay, so how will I write down the number? We have 3 and 1. Now what I need to do is, ये 3 और 1 क्या represent कर रहा है? ये 3 और 1 represent कर रहा है the number of students. ऐसे है ना? So if I need to write down the number of students who basically are in either dancing or gardening and what's the other? Art? Yeah. So that is going to be equal to what? That's going to be equal to 3 plus 1, which is equal to 4. And there you go. That's it. That's your answer. Now let's see कि क्या questions हैं आप लोगों के. Um, 3, 6 and 9. No, it's okay. Yeah, that's the answer. Walaikum salam, Ali Hamza. Okay, so I will stop here and I will encourage you guys to solve the remaining questions. ठीक है, ताकि थोड़ा practice हो जाए. Okay, and there's nothing else that you will find in this question that we haven't covered yet. Okay, any question that you will do from this worksheet or the other paper 2 worksheet, we've already done it. Okay, I mean, we've done either a question similar to it or that very question. Won't n be the number of elements? Yes, n would be the number of elements, Adil. That's why we've written 4. Okay, acha, okay, so it's not going to be 2. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking that 2 hoga answer. No, it's not going to be 2. Why? Because 3 and 1 are the number of students itself. It's not like we're writing down prime numbers or even numbers or odd numbers. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं है. 3 and 1 is the number of students itself. So 3 plus 1 is going to be your final answer. Okay, I'll re-explain the last part. Okay, so देखो, first of all we identified what this region is: D union G intersection A. Okay, so D union G intersection A basically turned out to be this. Okay, D union G मतलब D और G दोनों में जो common है वो 1/4 था, but at the same time it should also be common with set A. So it turned out to be this set, this region, 3 and 1. Okay, so what we have done is we've just added 3 and 1 together, because what we're looking, this 3 and 1 is not like a number. ठीक है, ये ऐसा नहीं है multiples of 3, even numbers, odd numbers or anything like that. This 3 and 1 are basically number of students itself. So all we have to do now is we need to sum it up. So that's 3 plus 1 and that's it. That's your answer. Angle properties of circles की मैंने बहुत videos बनाई. If there is one topic that I've made a lot of videos on, it's angle properties of circles. So if you've already seen those, then problem nahi honi chahiye. But if you haven't seen those, I would suggest you rewatch those. Okay, and that should help. Sir, last part should be 3. No, it's not 3. It's 3 plus 1, which is 4. Yep, 3 plus 1, 4. Okay, हमें काउंट करके नहीं लिखना, हमें ऐड करके लिखना है, क्योंकि वो नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं हम. Okay, alright, so let's stop here. If anyone here is also an AdMath student, so tomorrow inshallah I will be streaming. What am I streaming tomorrow? Most likely integration, area under the curve के past paper questions करते हैं. ठीक है, and then day after, so I'll try and alternate. Okay, I'll try and alternate between maths and advanced. नहीं मैं tricep नहीं check कर रहा था, I was just scratching. Khair. Anyway, so let's stop here. See you guys soon, inshallah. Take care, everyone. Allah Hafiz. Angle properties bhi kar lenge, don't worry. Okay, but make sure that you first rewatch all the videos that I've made. Like I said, angle properties is one topic I have made the most videos on. In fact, I've gotten bored of teaching that topic, frankly speaking. But I will make a video on it, don't worry. Or maybe a live stream, whatever suits.